Bored? Here are 5 things you can do during quarantine. Unless you're at the forefront of the coronavirus battle, like the brave and tireless workers in the medical and health fields, together with the people in the logistics and service industry, or perhaps a young professional working from home, chances are you're someone who's bored out of his mind during the extended community quarantine. Same here. We all deserve a break from a strict routine occasionally, with some of us enjoying the luxury of the time this period has given us. I know I definitely retreated into my room, locked the door, grabbed my game console, and switched my phone settings to silent mode for 3 days when the quarantine was first implemented. But after exhausting all my attention on playing games and viewing endless content on YouTube, I find myself just lying in bed and staring at the patterns on my wall. I kept glancing at the clock and determining when I should refresh my feed for new videos and hilarious posts because there is nothing left to do. That is until I remembered the value of time and how ironic it was that under normal circumstances, people desperately claw some grains from the sands of time only to let it slip through their fingers. And now that they finally have more of it, they squander it away. I myself have thrown away the precious time that I craved for during busy school and work days to brainstorm writing ideas. Well, not anymore. Upon realizing this, I got back on track to reorganizing my life and used the remaining hours of this month-long break to pursue some of my burning passions. I listed them down on paper and established a routine to target them all. Here are 5 things I did to fight boredom and be more productive during quarantine. Make creative projects. How many of us yearn for extra hours in the day when we can pursue more personal and creative goals, such as writing a book or adding more photos or other forms of artwork to our portfolio? Most of us, I believe. But without a clear schedule to guide us on following those goals, people tend to just let the hours pass by consuming various forms of media content. During the first 2 weeks of quarantine, I carried my favorite comfort snacks from the kitchen to our living room couch, sat my butt down, and faced the monitor with the strong intent of catching up on all the movies and television series I delayed on watching because I was focused on my studies. Late nights watching and finishing BoJack Horseman, The Promised Neverland, Little Women, etc. passed and the mush of ideas from all that I viewed stockpiled in my head. I was inspired, but instead of analyzing and critiquing the quality content that I consumed, I just flushed them out to make room for the next movie or series. I got too carried away watching all the blockbusters, rom-com, horror, and indie films on my list that I didn't record the unique experiences they all offered. Sure, people watch movies and play games to be entertained, but as a budding writer, these are all great sources for developing and improving creative writing skills, so I began to study the scenes. I took a mental and physical note of how they used character development, major plot points, story arcs, pacing, etc. in their stories and tinkered with them to apply whatever fits to my own projects. So far, it's been a fun and challenging ride to make good use of the hours that I still have to work on my undying interests. It's also a plus that when you dive deep on watching these shows, you develop a deeper appreciation for them. But remember to pick the ones you think would provide the most benefit. Time is still limited, and you may not get the chance to watch all the Korean dramas, Japanese anime, and American shows offered. Apologies for being stereotypical, even if they're all highly reviewed and highly recommended and all are beckoning you over. Exercise and eat healthy. Last year, I made a commitment to myself that I would hit the gym 4 times a week and achieve a more toned physique. I'm proud to say that I've achieved that goal. Sadly though, since quarantine I slacked off. Since there was no access to the gym, I became stagnant, and since I got reacquainted with my comfort zone, I remained in it. I couldn't even be bothered to do my daily scoliosis stretches for back strength and pain relief and management. That, coupled with limited options for fresh produce as well as raw poultry, fish, and meat, I began to eat poorly. My arms became a little flabby and my stomach less firm. But I also knew that I was just being lazy and making up excuses for the lack of exercises. There are a number of apps and videos free on Google Play and YouTube respectively for bodyweight exercises and stretches. They were just one internet search away, so I motivated myself to wake up early and get a good sweat with some good old cardio and reliable push-ups. As for healthy food, well, our nearby markets have closed down, so we can't buy the fruits that we like, such as bananas, mangoes, and avocados, leaving us with canned goods like corned beef, meatloaf, and tuna on our shelves. Thankfully though, when the government was already thinking about a potential community quarantine to control the coronavirus outbreak, my family stocked well on turmeric, ginger, garlic, onion, tomatoes, honey, eggs, and even my favorite green tea matcha. So there's still tweaks I can do to manage my diet. It's also a good thing that we planted a malunggay plant in our garden. Its leaves looking healthy and promising of antioxidants, protein, and calcium. We collect its leaves and incorporate it in our dishes, frying it up with eggs, blending it together with milk and oats, and just boiling it for a hot drink sweetened with honey. Learn something new. Whether it's a new skill like cooking, painting, designing, or speaking another language like Spanish, French, or heck, Russian. This is the perfect opportunity to learn something new and surprise your peers and colleagues with it once this quarantine lifts. Lately, I've been seeing plenty of my friends try their hand at baking since they've got more time off work without the ungodly commute hours. Every day, they would upload pictures of their creation, hot batches of cookies or brownies that they've whipped up using a microwave or toaster oven, sometimes topped with vanilla ice cream. I, meanwhile, have been curious about the trending Dalgona coffee drink. Swept up by the craze, I joined the bandwagon of whipping one up, and after a few whisks and a sore arm later, a cold sip during hot afternoons. Now, when I plug in my earphones or turn my speakers up, I am transported in a peaceful coffee shop. I close my eyes and drift away listening to lo-fi/chill beats on my playlist as I write. Good stuff. And speaking of writing, aside from brushing up on my wordsmithing to compose blog posts and chapters, I am planning to branch out to digital art and video editing and animation too. Nothing fancy, just simple motion graphics and kinetic typography using vectors. I would also like to make my own visual novel. I stumbled upon it while browsing the net one time, and the design definitely piqued my interest. I got hooked on how visual novels combine art with an interactive story structure that led to different routes of the main plot depending on your choices. It's a cool medium to tell stories, and I'm excited to learn on how to make one. Reconnect with loved ones. Parents and guardians often seek some extra time where they can enjoy the company of their significant other as well as loved ones. Now they can hold them tenderly in a loving embrace, safe from the dangers of the world. A family cocooned together as families should be. We can also use this time to reach out to old friends, the ones we haven't seen or talked to in a while. You know you want to reconnect with them, but busy schedules get in the way. There's no conflict of that now, so just press the video call button and blabber away, recalling the adventures of yesteryear. The warm feeling you get after reconnecting with those you love can definitely uplift your spirits on days when it gets unbearably lonely. Read books. I cannot emphasize this enough. There are multiple benefits to reading a wide genre of books, from non-fiction to fiction to autobiographies. For me, reading was an effective way to escape from the real world. I remember when I was a kid, when the world was dreary or when it made none or little sense, I would pitch a makeshift tent in my room using blankets and pillows, go inside, curl up, and read. Aside from entertainment, the stories contained within the pages I was holding with my little hands gave me knowledge and comfort, instilled in me values of chivalry, strength, courage, perseverance, and kindness when the world offered so little. Values we need now. Books also contain the valuable words of mentors or scholars. It is where they recorded and polished their thoughts, years of insights and experiences consolidated into a tangible, portable form that you can flip through over and over again. So grab a book, enter into its pages, into its world, and be enlightened and entertained. Interact with it, record your own thoughts into its margins or on another sheet of paper. It would definitely be worth of your time instead of being idle. In a period of self-isolation, our lives may undergo a monotonous and dreary transformation, resorting back to poor old habits, to a dull mind relying on entertainment to kill boredom. But there are still positive activities we can do to be more productive and make good use of the time we've got. It brings with it too a sense of accomplishment for pursuing and finishing daily tasks instead of twiddling our thumbs waiting for the quarantine to end.